and I looked around and I said, this can't be it. Am I going to have a job, buy a home, get an investment property, retire and die?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's safety.
Mm.
That's stuckness to me. Hello and welcome to Uncovered, the podcast with your host, Jason Irving. Join me in a journey to understand what's truly happening in your world and the world around you. This is not about how you're living life on the surface. It's about what's truly driving you from under the covers. I'm going to take you on a journey to deeply uncover the reason why you are here, the ultimate purpose in your problems and the way that they have shaped your life up until now. See, I believe you have a purpose and your problems are the highway towards ultimate realization of that journey towards freedom and the reconnection of your true self. I've been told I have a different spin on most things, and I'll be giving you my understanding of life, love, and what we're all here for, purpose. To get the best out of this podcast, drop what you already know so you can discover what's beyond you. So join me, let's play this game of life and bring on liberation, transformation, and change. Let's do this.
Hi Jason, how are you today?
Not too bad, Philly. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Welcome to Uncovered. We are going to be focusing on safety and its brilliant ability to keep you stuck while also giving you the understanding to create a very large amount of instability that you're missing.
And how does the world usually look at safety?
Look, what we usually do is we go, okay, we think about particular things. It's usually a physical thing or it's a person. Mm-hmm. So we find safety in someone else. So we project that safety. You're my safety. I've had a lot of people say that to me. You make me feel safe and secure when we chat. So I help people build that inner safety and that inner security within. And we look at things like a home. We look at things like having enough to retire on, in quotes. Mm-hmm. So we're constantly thinking about, well, what is it that's going to keep us doing something? So the biggest thing that I see a lot of people doing, and this is what I didn't want, I had a meltdown based on safety. Mm-hmm. I was sitting in front of my computer and I was looking at my life and I was working in a job, in quotes, and I looked around and I said, this can't be it. Am I going to have a job, buy a home, get an investment property, retire and die? Mm-hmm. Because that's safety. Mm. That's stuckness to me. I melted down. I was like, life cannot be just this.
Yeah, there must be more.
There's got to be more than just this idea. So I started on a quest on personal development. Later on, I forgot about that, went back to drinking and socialising with my friends, but I just felt this feeling of suicide in my head and told no one. But I was just feeling this shouldn't be it. This can't be it. And quite often, when we're wanting to make a move or change the levers in our life, safety is actually what's stopping us.
Because we are safe, and then moving out of that would make you feel uncertain and unsafe.
Yeah, out of our comfort zone and into the unknown and into the abyss. And that's what it feels like. It feels black, it feels dark, it feels scary. Mm-hmm. So we want to go, okay, routine. Now, we are typically routine type beasts in our nature. Yeah. So if you're going for a walk and there's a crack in the pavement on your general walk, by the way, you'll just go on that same walk every time, right? And there'll be a crack in the pavement, you'll stick your foot down on the area that you've found is the right area to stick your foot down, and then every single time you'll stick your left or your right foot down right on that same place to make sure you don't trip over. Mm-hmm. We are so routine based, so repetitious based, and that's healthy unless we're stuck. Mm-hmm. Right? So I'll give you a personal example of this. I loved and still love the healer part of me. You've experienced that in my 2-second sessions, where you are completely busted and in 2 seconds the healer aspect comes out of me and you are completely fine, yeah?
Yeah. Like healing a migraine in like 5 seconds. I'm like, cool, okay. I don't need to spend the rest of the afternoon in bed now.
Yeah, throwing up. So you've experienced that from me, and when I was working as a healer, I had learnt everything I needed to learn. I knew how I could help. I knew what I couldn't help. I knew what was available. I knew the human psyche. I knew how someone was going to have a go at me for asking them to change something, and they were going to get pissed off with me because their safety was trying to fight me. Right? So I was safe. And I said to Anya, I'm bored. I kept complaining for about 2 or 3 years, but my safety was keeping me as a healer. And now I've created this academy, and I'm in the unknown. I'm walking on air all the time. It's constant. New frameworks, new information, new sharing, flipping everyone on their head. Really looking forward to the next couple of weeks in the academy, because I'm going to be flipping emotions on the head again. And I realised that I needed to go into the uncertainty and all of those sorts of things, and safety was actually keeping me in a jail cell. And I had to change it, but I had to make a massive sacrifice. I had to look at what I was doing, and it's different when you really love what you do, and you're like, well, why would you change something that you love? And I had someone I was chatting to just this week. It's like, everything is going great. I was talking to her about the academy. She said, I don't really need the academy right now. I was like, I didn't want to convince her. Right? I said, that's perfect. Good on you. All I was thinking is, when it turns to dust, because everything is going great, it won't happen for the rest of our life. That's the essential time to go and work in the academy. Right? In my opinion, when things are great, let's make it greater. And everything was in a routine, everything was working the way like clockwork for her. She was really, really happy. That's the best time to make change.
Yeah, because it's much easier, I guess, than any other time.
It is far easier. So when I changed the academy, when I was in a good hot zone, I moved, and I had all my issues come up, fear and whether it's going to work and all of those things. The thing is, I was in good shape. So it didn't take me grudgingly getting out of my own slime to get there, because my suit was clean, my shoes weren't dirty. I was just walking into another room in my life. And that's what we've got to learn to be able to do. If everything's going really well, this is when you really want to have a chat to us guys about the academy, what we can do to actually improve it. Now, when things are not going well, we still want to stay where we are. Because even when you're broken, it's safe, because you know it.
Yeah. You know what it feels like? Yeah.
And there's a really cool comedian that I love. His name's Jamon. And he's an Irish comedian, and he also sings songs, and he sings some serious songs. And one of these songs was a really cool, catchy song, and I love it. I always think about it, and it's called "Going the Wrong Way Home." Right? And the song goes like this. I won't sing it because I'm a terrible singer, guys. So you'll probably switch off.
Yeah.
I'm going the wrong way home. I'm doing it for a reason, because I've never been that way before. Going the wrong way home. Right? So it's taking a different turn and doing it for a reason, because you haven't done it before. That is the true safety. That's true safety, is going somewhere where you've never been before on purpose. You're doing it for a reason, because you've never done it before.
That's really, really cool.
Right? So true safety actually comes from stable-based changes. Not impulsive-based ones, stable-based ones. Prudent decision-making, where you're calculating your decisions. You know you've got a plan B or a plan C in your background, and you've got a plan A. And your plan A is your safe zone. It's your journey towards liberation, freedom and connection. Because the soul, it doesn't want to stay the same. It wants to move. It wants to be different. It wants to know that there's something new. It wants to go the wrong way home. It's just a metaphor what he was doing it for a reason, because I've never been that way before. Now, day-to-day safety doesn't revolve around that door. I park in the same car park every day because I pay for it.
Me too.
I walk to the academy the same way.
That's a funny thing as well. Like, I park in the same car park, even if I could park in the other one. If Anya doesn't come in the one that's really, really closer to the door, I still automatically drive to the other one, because I always do that.
That's what
I think oh, I actually could park there because she's not coming in. But then, like, you know, or could have. You know, I think that afterwards. I don't think that in the moment, really.
Exactly. And the reason why is our repetitious behaviour becomes subconscious.
A habit.
And it's a habit, and that safety becomes a habit. So even if you're smoking drugs, it becomes a safety-based habit, even though it's not good for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're drinking a lot of, 2 glasses of wine every night,
mm-hmm.
which a lot of people do in Australia to relax. That's actually poison, by the way, guys. You're actually poisoning yourself with 2 glasses of wine every night, slowly eroding your body away, right? That you're doing this with a habit, and then subconsciously you go, I'm going to the cupboard to get my wine glass out, pour the wine in. I automatically go to the shop to get my wine. And which wine do you get? The same brand, the same vintage, the same style, Cab Sav, whatever it is, right? And you go and grab it, and you go, oh, I got a new one. Oh, geez, what's this going to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even the things that we do, the same bank,
mm-hmm.
to change banks even. We don't do that because we go to the same bank, we know what the system is, we know what our app does. Then we have to go to a new bank and everything is different,
mm-hmm.
right? So what we have to learn around safety is to create inner stability. And the more inner stability we have to actually change ourselves, because stability doesn't sit on the same foundations. So think about this. As a metaphor, would you, if you had a very, very old house and you decided, I want a new house, would you just... We knock the house down, but do we put the house on the old foundations?
No.
Of course not. We have to create completely new foundations, and that's what we have to do with our insides.
Mm-hmm.
Create new foundations to create safety through change. And that's the only thing that our body requires, our world requires, because you think about when you've been stagnant, what does it feel like?
I think it feels like what you kind of described in the beginning. Like at some stage you just start feeling like, is this it? There should be more. Like there's gotta be more.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that's what people do, guys. We look to personal development, and a lot of people, we talk about this as the information gatherers or the spiritual diverters. Mm-hmm. So these are the people who go and sit in meditation. They go, that was a really good experience, but their life is starting to turn into a shambles because they're having experiences and they're developing and they're getting information, but they're not living that information. So they find safety in the experience, but they find it very, very unsafe to change ourselves. So we end up looking at life and saying it's all too hard. We make all our excuses to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the classic things around this is money. People look and say, okay, I don't have enough money, so I can't do that thing. So I was talking to another person about the Academy this week, and she had her mum says, you need to spend money to make money. So she's an investor and she owns a business. She's working really well. And the dad says, you need to have the money in place so then you can spend. So what you have, you spend. So that's a small mentality. That's a safe mentality. So the people who make it really big in the world have the first call of duty with their mentality. They go, I'm going to take a risk. And then if we blend the two, we have the money and the risk, we win. We're home and hose, because you don't want to be impulsive and just be number one without being able to buy your home, have investments and all of those sorts of things. Mm-hmm. But you need to be able to take a risk on yourself and say, I'm going to put this money in, I'm going to put this skin in the game, and I'm going to invest in myself. And it's not safe. So she was too unsafe to jump into the Academy, and I made the answer easier for her. I said no. Mm-hmm. I told her this is not right. And the reason why is because I knew that she would be too stressed, and she's not a thinker like a Laura Conley who joined the Academy, who works for the Academy now. She was broke, massive debts, and she said yes because I said to her one thing. Well, welcome to the land of getting your house, your mortgage, and retiring and dying. Enjoy. She said, what? And I said, well, that's going to be your life. If that's how you want to play it safe, you go for it. And she said, okay, I'm in. She's changed her life completely now. Everything is going great. The reason why was because in her heart she knew I was right. She was playing safe to stuckness. And I'll tell you what happens, guys. When you play safe to stuckness, you will be hit with a wall. A wall will come towards you and hit you to break you out of your problem because you need to change. So it gets forced upon your hand. But if you're creating it, then when the wall comes, you actually don't, you can see it coming because you're investigating change. So you're changing the reality of your future. So walls don't come and hit you and smack you on the face. And I bet you guys have had situations where you don't have a plan, you don't have a vision, you don't have anything thinking about what you're going to do for your future. So something happens and then you go splat on the ground. Have you experienced that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we've got to understand around safety. So this feeling of safety, it's not safe to me the way human nature does it. Change is the only thing that creates inner stability and safety. And that's what we need to do, is make this word that we're all looking for progression.
And how do we go about that? Like, what would be some steps to take?
Well, there's a couple of things here, Philia. I think number one, Anya says this all the time, you can only think and understand to the end of your own horizon. So make sure you get some help, right? Find out from someone else where you're stuck, and don't talk to your stuck friends. The worst people you can talk to is your friends. I'll tell you why. Unless they're really growing, growth-based friends are okay. But if they're in the same boat, you're just going to enable each other. So you want to actually talk to people who you see who have done something else. And then for you, you've got to walk down the street, another street. You know, do different things every day. Do something a little bit different so you can get your childlike wonder of the world again. Because the children are always doing something new. I look at my kids and they're like, oh my God, I can use a knife and fork, you know. This is all new, and they're proud of themselves for being able to use it. We use a knife and fork every day. It's repetition, it's easy. For them, it's exciting. They get to use something. They get to unpack the dishwasher. Can I help you unpack the dishwasher? Last thing I want to do. Charlotte and Liam, they're like, yeah, I want to unpack the dishwasher. I want to put stuff away.
Great. Can they come over to my house?
Eventually it'll be boring for them, but in the beginning we've got to have that childlike wonder back. So we've got to get and think, what new challenges can we face? Can we go into the unknown and take a leap of faith on ourselves? And then safety will start being built on the inside. So it's inner development work that really requires that safety. And most people aren't willing to do the deep work, have a good look at themselves in the mirror and change it. So that's where sometimes we need some help. And that's what we do in the academy, guys. So, you know, if this is something that's really sparked your interest, come and chat to us. But don't do the same thing all the time, because you're going to end up not living, you're going to be existing through life, and that is not safe for anybody.
And you kind of touched on routines and that as well. Do you think that routines can be healthy though as well? Routines
are fantastic, right, as long as they're healthy. Right? We've got to look at repetitious behaviour that are healthy. So once we get something nailed in that's really, really good for us, it doesn't mean we need to stop those particular things. It's just knowing that we can change them a little bit. So let's say you go and do a routine with your fitness. Fitness pros know that your body gets used to a certain routine. To get it fitter, you change the routine all the time to make your body doing something new all the time, right? So you do something that you like, and you change variance within that as well. So when I was a healer, I would always do variance, even though I was just sitting there and no one knew that I was just sitting there with my hands on people. I was always varying things up and changing, using different symbols and learning stuff. So I wasn't bored in my own way, but I knew I needed to change something. But you've got to vary even the things that you're doing well that are repetitious. Because I believe, at least, like I've done probably over around 30,000 sessions with people individually, thousands and thousands of hours in groups now too. So I'm pretty good at it. I have to run variance on my group work. right? Eventually the one-to-ones will go, because that's I want to hand that over to people who need that one-to-one experience. So I know that that's again going to pull me into that level of unsafety. It's essential, because people are getting more value out of me in a group, because everyone gets to open the doorway and the pathway to change together.
Cool. That's really good. Well, thank you so much for this chat. It was really insightful, I think.
Helpful for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no worries. So guys, if you like this podcast and you want to hand this over to someone who's a little bit stuck base safe, or that we've got to build internal connection to make sure that we don't end up living that in quotes boring life, www.wellnessbreakthroughacademypodcast.com if you want to see us. Like and share this. I would love people to actually understand what true safety is, which is the absolute movement and connection to what we're here to do and live in this life. It's not freedom sitting on the couch doing the same routine every day. Okay, thanks so much, guys, and thanks, Vivian.
Thank you.